Alright, good evening folks, and welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. It's been a little while. Good evening. Good evening, one and all. Welcome back. Well, here we are. I've just dashed back from football. I wasn't actually going to stream today because I completely forgot that today was the cup finals night and presentation and stuff. So I was like, oh, do you know what I'll do is I'll just play in the tournament and then just come straight back here and stream this and miss the presentation. Such is my dedication to the cause. And we won the tournament, we won the cup. But I'm not going to stay for the presentation now because I've dashed off to play some more of this. But anyway, so here I am. Because it's been a little while, so I thought, you know what, if I keep putting these things off. How many deaths? It could only be one or two. No. It could be zero actually, as well. All right. Let's not forget that. We could show some competence today. Anyway, good evening. How has the weekend been? Weekend has been all right. It's been the same as always, really. I haven't done anything too adventurous. But for whatever reason, today I feel a bit flat. I felt a bit crappy all day. I'm not ill or anything. I just don't feel my usual va-va-voom self, you know. Even winning the football tournament, you know, usually would put a spring in my step, you know, get the endorphins going, a good competition, or I scored the winning penalty in the penalty shootout, you know, poof, fired it in the bottom corner. Nah, nothing. No elation, nothing. Just like well, okay, that's nice. But anyway, so I don't know. Feeling a bit off. Although the last time I felt a bit off, I ended up coming down with a cold about 2 days later. So maybe I've got an illness coming. Who knows? But a busy week I've got a busy week ahead of me, which I'll get to down the line towards the end of the stream. Keep you posted about a couple of things because I've got a busy week. But yeah, shall we crack on? I've completely forgot where we ended up last time. So I seem to recall that we made a friend, Tom or something. What's he called? Like a friend of some such. And our sister was in some kind of club, little cult clubby thing where they're doing their poetry or whatever. Our grandfather died. I seem to recall that happening. And what else happened? Somebody got set on fire in school. I seem to recall that too. So the Fugitive Girl, we last played it on the 21st of February, which was what, 3 weeks ago? Holy hell! So we're still in adolescence. I seem to recall, yeah, I wanted to finish this chapter, but we didn't. I couldn't get to the end of it. I seem to recall my voice was going. So let's have a look at the Destiny tab. We can see some little handy hints here. Let's just refresh ourselves. Gloria's secret. We have discovered the secret society that Gloria has joined, and we have decided to keep quiet about it. Of course we have. Oh yes, we also had an incident with our brother. Remember that? I remember that. It's coming back to me. Our brother got into a bit of a fracas with some people, and we charged in, and then we went to court or something, and had to testify. And we told the truth. Matters of heart. We experienced our first romantic feelings. Bloody hell. Saved Sophia from a lesser death, but we of course died ourselves. Yes, Thomas was his name, our friend. Saved Sophia. Began school. Grandfather died. Sums up. It's quite nice music. A little tinkly tune. Yeah, so that kind of sums it up nicely, doesn't it? Is that all we did last time? Is that all? Seem to recall more happening than that. Personality-wise, let's have a look. So we're now 14 years old. We're still a lowborn. We're now a schoolboy. We've had 2 deaths, 2 to go. Nobility level 3. We are honourable. We are enterprising. Quite quick-witted. Spirituality, we're a bit of a searcher. We're not really that spiritual at the moment, and we've got a decent amount of willpower at the moment too. So that's quite cool. House of Brante, we've got a tarnished honour, mainly because of the incident with our brother and stuff, probably. We've got a moderate means when it comes to wealth, and our family is at peace at the moment. And the heir to the family is Stephen Brante. Yes, good old Stephen. Yes, okay. So the family tree looks a little bit like this. Gregor died. That was an eventful night, wasn't it? Father and mother still alive. One older brother, one younger brother, and Gloria. So we're indifferent with our father. We've got affection from our mother, sympathy from our brother now, and sympathy from Nathan, and great affection from Gloria. So that's going well. Bump off Stephen. Oh, move off. Oh no, bump. Yeah, off Stephen. Bump him off. Yeah, he's so awful. And then we've also got some relations. Thomas Guerrero, our friend, good friend of ours, Sophia, never saw her again. Augustine Elborn, our uncle, who is tolerant of the commoners. Octavia Milandias, who we kept her handkerchief, I seem to recall. One of the Artnians. Jean, the acolyte girl. Is this the girl that we had a crush on? And then Dorius Otten. Who was he? I don't recall coming across him. I've got the map of the Empire, I've got the province situation, which we're not all that concerned about right now. So onwards we go as we continue to try to get ourselves through our childhood and adolescence in one bloody piece. This stream will go on till about 10:15-ish. I say that, and we might go over, but my aim is to finish around about 10:15. It's got a few little bits and bats to sort out before tomorrow. Yes, this game's music is pretty decent. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Right, okay, so grandfather's passing and last respects have left a mark on the entire family. His words, relayed from the hereafter, keep echoing in your mind. You still do your best to avoid the memory of grandfather's last night and spend more time on the city streets with Thomas and your other classmates. Basically, we've turned into hooded youths, hoodlums loitering on street corners, carrying out acts of antisocial behaviour. That's what's happened to us. I can only stay until 9 p.m. So we'll watch the rest on VOD tomorrow after Last of Us finale. Oh, Last of Us finale, yeah. Last of Us finale. Indeed, that will be one of my things to do tomorrow. Either before or after I stream CK2. I can't. Where have I been? I've been here the entire time. What do you mean, where have I been? I haven't gone anywhere. There's been a little bit of a slowdown in March, but I'm still here. Where have you been? MW, where have you been? Right, okay. So we're loitering on street corners with our mates. The road by the house reminds you of another clash with death. The road by the house reminds you of another clash with death. Sometimes as you walk along that road, you recall Sophia. Oh, Sophia's come back to our mind. The beautiful girl with the wonderful eyes and the terrifying thundering hooves. You have not seen Sophia since that fateful day. Ah, that's because you're looking at recorded videos. I haven't done a recorded video for over a month. That's very true. But because I'm doing live streams on a different tab on YouTube, exactly. My F1 Manager videos I'm doing as private streams, so they will show up on the stream tab. So yeah. So we're reminiscing about Sophia. And the fact that we haven't seen her since we sacrificed ourselves for her. The children who live nearby say her parents sent her to a rich Arknian family, the Ottons, as a servant. Oh, so she may come back into the fore. Maybe she'll be grateful that we saved her life down the line. Okay, so the sun has set. The pillar shines palely in the dark sky. Thomas is ill, so you decide to visit him and tell him the latest news. The streets seem oddly agitated tonight, full of horses, cloaked men, strange faces and hushed voices. A young nobleman in a heavy embroidered cloak is walking back and forth, clutching at his sword nervously. There is a grimace of rage on his delicate blue face. He is an Arknian. You overhear voices. Sir Otton, the girl's not at home. We searched the house. Her parents swear she ran away from home too. They claim they wanted to bring her back. Just do whatever it takes. Turn this loathsome district upside down if you must, but bring my servant back to me. She's here. Sophia ran away from an Arknian? How can this be? There is only one place on the entire street where a person could hide. The abandoned Morel house, 4 houses away from yours. You head there, doing your best not to attract attention. Oh God, this is trouble. This is trouble. The lopsided house, built of yellow brick, has been abandoned for 20 years or so. You remember playing there as a boy. You glimpse a figure inside even before you enter. A pair of eyes glimmer in the dark. You would recognize them even after another 4 years. Sophia has grown up. She's almost an adult now, and her face is full of fear. She is not the easygoing girl next door that you remember. She finally recognizes you. Oh, it's you, Benedict. Be quiet. They're all looking for me. I ran away from the youngest Otton. I might be in for a lesser death here, but I'd rather die than spend another day in that slavery. I'm just a thing to him, just a toy to play with. Sophia winces and closes her mouth as she says this. There is a glint of bright yellow deep in her eyes. I ran to my parents. I told them all about the men I had to serve, and they went and alerted the Ottons. They don't want to be the target of their ire, but you aren't going to tip them off, are you? The barking and shouting are getting closer. Sophia's voice grows quiet. She runs off to the darkest corner of the house before you can answer. One of Otton's servants is so close you can hear his cloak swishing against the ground. He notices something and calls for the others. There are more voices around you now. They approach the house from the yard and surround it. One of them seems particularly snappy, annoyed and impatient. You have already heard this voice today. If you're in there, girl, you'd be wise to come out and quit wasting my time. All will be forgiven, and you will go back where you were. You know it. And if you don't, I'll drag you out by the hair. The hilt of the young Arknian sword bashes at the door. He's about to lose his patience for good. Sophia hugs the wall in the dark, trying to stay still. She glances at you. What will you do? Your heart is racing. Can you act against the Arknian's orders? Do you have the gall to defy the mighty... Oh, God. Oh, last time we tried to save this girl, come now, woman, kind of, we ended up dead. For God's sake. Try to stop Otten. I don't want to see the actions. Help Sophia flee or hide alone. Oh, God. This game is... I've barely started it and I'm already wincing in agony. This could be a short session. Well, physically trying to stop him seems the worst option. Hiding alone, I think, is the best. Is probably the least likely to get us killed. Maybe scolded, but not killed, certainly. Helping her flee, if we get caught. But we've got good ingenuity, which could be useful for this kind of stuff. Maybe that'll help us. We're going to help her flee. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the other options now. So basically, if we try to stop her, Sophie dies her first death. No? Or does not die her first death. What does that? There's an equals with a cross through it. Okay. Conditions on the left. Consequences. Oh, so because she hasn't died before, we can stop her. Okay. So if we'd have let her die the first time, then this wouldn't have been an option then. This is what this is telling us, right? Okay, that's fine. So Sophia's trust goes up if we try to stop him. If Sophia did die her first death, we'd have had this option available. Hiding alone would have increased our willpower and would have ticked Sophie off, but we are helping her to flee. I don't want to see the consequences, so let's just go with it. Oops, sorry folks, I pressed the wrong shortcut key. Bear with me. What am I doing? I'm trying to mute the microphone so I can cough in peace. That was a short stream. You grab Sophia's hand as you run down the stairs to the old cellar. She resists you at first until she reads your lips. There is a secret way out. You sneak away into the cellar, leading the way. The floorboards groan above your heads as the Arknian and his men search the house, but only children who grew up in this district know that this cellar leads to the neighbouring district. You lead Sophia to the hole in the cellar floor and help her squeeze in. There it is, an odd tunnel that leads to a well 2 streets away. None of the children know who dug it, yet you played here and chased each other through it so many times as a lad. And now this secret passage will rescue Sophia from genuine pursuit. Good night, everyone. Should be to three. The next stream of this won't be 3 weeks. I can assure you. It's just the way that things have panned out with my Sunday and Mondays being tied up with a few things. Soon you are in the well. There is nothing above you save a sky full of clouds. You wait until you hear no more steps around you, then climb out of the well and help Sophia up. You lead the way to the slums around the temple district, the easiest place to disappear. A dog in a nearby house starts barking. One of Otten's men appears in front of you. You take a step back as your fingers search for a brick, ready to defend Sophia, no matter the cost. She squeezes your hand, and then you hear a high-pitched scream of rage. A flash of yellow light stuns you. In the blink of an eye, Otten's man freezes and collapses, unable to get up. Sophia's eyes are no longer sky blue. They are yellow now. She lets go of your hand. You recoil in fear. She's a witch. Merciless or embittered that are separate from relations to your slider. That also unlocks things. Oh, okay. I thank you. Okay, so she's ended up doing something, burning him or doing something to him. We've just helped a witch escape. Oh, happy days, as if things weren't bad enough. You weren't supposed to see that, Benedict. Don't worry, I won't hurt you. But I won't let them take me. I won't go back to Otten after this. I need to run as far as my legs can take me. Thank you for helping me, and farewell. Sophia gives you a gentle kiss on the cheek and disappears down the dark alleyway. You stand there stunned. Sophia is a witch. Her magic bound Otten's men by the arms and legs. It made him unable to move. You hear Otten's screams of rage and the thumping of his men's feet, but Sophia is long gone. It's a shame. That was all you could do for her. Trusting. And sympathy +2. Your heroic act gave Sophia a faint glimmer of hope. The runaway girl becomes the talk of your district for an entire week. You overhear that Sophia managed to flee the city. The Ottens are furious. After this sudden appearance, she disappears from your life once more. You will not see her again until much, much later. If at all, if we end up dying, of course. Yeah, probably is some law, yeah. Helping a witch surely cannot be a good thing. We'll be burned at the stake with her as well. Okay, we've just a bit of willpower on that one. Okay, we are now aged 15. Almost a man grew. The blood-stained sermon. You are about to turn 15, just one step away from adulthood. Mother is acting anxious at dinner today, barely touching her food. You exchange glances with Gloria. She carefully tells you that she wants to go to the tailor. Mother shudders and her hands clench into fists. No! Don't you dare leave home today, I forbid it! That dirty heretic Fotis is preaching his lies under the silver tree today. Twins willing, I don't want you to hear any of that. You and Gloria glance at each other again. Fotis? He is a patriarch, the head of the clergy throughout the entire province. That is the first time you've heard Mother speak like this about a priest, especially such a high-ranking one. Once you leave the dinner table, Gloria comes to your room with a cunning expression on her face. She's like she's about to play a trick on someone. She has a plan. The two of you should sneak out of the house and go to the silver tree. You simply must hear that sermon for yourself. What's so bad about Patriarch Fotis? Why does Mother hate him so much? You two are grown-ups now. Surely you have the right to know. You agree with your sister. Together you sneak out from under your mother's watchful eye and hurry to the silver tree. The temple block is full of people from all ranks and estate. There is barely enough room for you to squeeze through the crowd. The crowd has gathered around the very roots of the tree. Gloria suggests you climb up to the roof of a nearby building so you can hear and see everything better. And not a moment too soon. From the roof, you see a tall, silver-haired priest step onto the platform by the tree, dressed in the common black robe that looks far beneath his rank. Yet he stands like a noble before the crowd. Behind his back is a banner flapping in the wind, the open book. This is a symbol of the new faith, the crowd whispers. The patriarch holds his hands up to the sky, and the entire temple block grows quiet. He begins his sermon, his vibrant voice rolling across the square. Fotis speaks of a great mistake. We entrusted ourselves to the lots as the only way to fulfill divine providence in this world, but for all these years the will of the twins has been interpreted for us by a single man, Prophet Asatius. The twins are ever watching from atop the shining pillar. Of this we have no doubt. But how can we so blindly believe that we truly follow their will by following the lots? Have we not seen the 3 lots of Asatius fail again and again to answer the question of how we ought to live our lives? Have we not seen people change their lot in life again and again without being smitten by divine wrath? Every person born, whether human or Archnean, low-born or noble, must find their lot and their way to the gods on their own. From now on, We will seek the gods in the accounts of their own lives, in their own acts in this world, and in their own words as they echo within us. And as we heed the voice of the twins within, we will each find their path for us on our own. The crowd at the Silver Tree listens to the patriarch's speech in stunned silence. You glance at your sister. Her eyes glisten with tears as she hears Fotis's words. Then suddenly a hoarse cry rises from the crowd. If there are no lots, does that mean the nobles are going to till the fields and the commoners are going to bear arms? The crowd begins to murmur. The patriarch raises an arm and inhales, ready to answer. An odd figure leaps from the crowd onto the platform, a dirty beggar dressed in rags. A knife flashes in his hand. The blade slices. Blood starts spurting from Fotis's throat. He slumps over and collapses. A dark brown puddle spreads across the platform where he had stood. Gloria clutches her mouth to suppress a shriek. A few moments of stunned silence, and then the screams begin. The people are frantic. The temple guards try to restore order in the crowd, but to no avail. An old woman dressed in an inquisitor's cassock tries in vain to apply pressure to the patriarch's wound. The nobles draw their swords. Dogs are barking. The crowd is pushing and shoving. Children are crying. The entire square by the tree is in chaos. From the roof, you see the moment when people start trampling each other, howling, praying, shouting. Gloria tugs on your sleeve. Time to go. You climb down from the roof and run. You return home without exchanging a word. Mother has been in her room all the while, so no one noticed your absence. Gloria locks herself in her room. You do not discuss the things you have just seen. They are too frightening. But your parents discuss every little detail of the blood-stained sermon over dinner. This is unbelievable! A patriarch murdered in plain sight? The gendarmes and the Archduke's guards have searched every corner of the slums, and the murderous beggar has disappeared without a trace. I can't even imagine a more gruesome crime. Fotis has died a true death, never to return from the hereafter. But how? Why can't the patriarch be reborn? He's so close to the twins. Such is the way of the world, my children. Once you are granted great power by the twins' will, there's no hope for you to come back, not even after the first of your deaths. Emperors, their powerful vassals, heads of great Arachnean dynasties, patriarchs of the church, none of them are destined to be reborn. Fotis is gone forever. I fear for his soul. It was lost in doubt. Will the twins accept him upon their peak of the pillar? We must pray for the patriarch, children. Let us hope he managed to return to the true old faith before the moment of his passing. But there is little hope for that. The church, old faith, losing a little bit of power and discontent starting to muster in the province on the back of that little incident. The last night. Tomorrow. Oh yes, we turn 16. Oh, happy day. According to imperial law, you will be a full adult. Your time at Sir Tybor's school has ended. You have studied enough to apply for the Imperial College and learn the judge's trade there. You are to travel to Eterna tomorrow. Your friend Thomas will go there with you to try his luck in the Imperial capital. Mother and father prepare you for the long journey. Ooh. Remember, son, there is only one goal for you. You must become a student at the Imperial College. Your teachers dragged you through all those books for a reason. You have the knowledge and fervour to be ennobled by the mantle as I was and as my late father was before me. And who knows, maybe one day you will be the one to write the name Brante in the blue book and ensure that your children's children will be noble by birth. Then Mother speaks to you carefully. There is worry in her eyes. But Robert, there may be another path for our son. Stephen, your firstborn, was born a noble. He will surely earn the title for the entire Brante family. Your second son bears the favour of the twins. For him, the path of the priest is a worthy calling, no less than a nobleman's sword. Didn't we say in the last stream that I actually quite fancied being a priest? I seem to recall that I did, right? There was something about being a priest that appealed to me. You said a rogue priest. You could set commandments, you changed your mind. Okay, so we're going to be a rogue priest. Or we're going to take down the old faith from within, right? Ah, okay, perfect. Okay, very good. We're still going to go for a priest then, if we get a choice in the matter. They have been arguing about your future for a while now. Still, she would never defy the will of a nobleman and her husband. You smile at them both, trying to placate them. Gloria laughs quietly behind their backs. I need spirituality for that. Ah, damn. We haven't been spiritual enough. Oh well, I'll just have to lock people's heads off on the battlefield then. Just don't become a snoot like Stephen, and you'll do just fine. Mother chides Gloria for that. You wink at your sister. Nathan has been downcast all evening. He barely touched his dinner. When everyone gets up from the table, he suddenly rushes over to embrace you. What's happening here, man? Is there anywhere you can email me? Yes, I have an email address. kingambrose2986@hotmail.co.uk is the address. I'm intrigued. Okay. Oh, I bet Nathan must be upset because we're leaving. Please don't go, Benedict. Can't you stay? I don't know what I'm doing. What I'm going to do without you. You tussle his hair in response. There is no way you can stay now, you say. But when you come home, and you will come home, you'll tell him all the stories and bring him a special present from Eterna. This is it. All your lessons have been learned, all your things have been packed for the road. You will leave the family home tomorrow. Tonight is your last night at home before your departure. You walk through the rooms one last time. The sitting room, where Mother used to read you fairy tales. The library, where Gloria used to spend all her time. Father's study, which you entered only on special occasions. The backyard, where you taught Nathan to build towers one summer. The whole place feels so familiar. So dear. It feels like home. You lived here for 16 years. Will you ever return? It's getting late. Everyone is already in their rooms, but you hesitate. Father, Mother, Gloria, Nathan. It will be a long time before you see them again. Who will you spend your last few hours at home with? Okay, so we can't spend time with Father, probably because we don't have a good enough relationship with him. Mother, we spent lots of time with Mother in the past, and, you know, seeing as Nathan is the one that is the most upset about us leaving, I think we're going to spend the time with our little brother. Because again, Gloria, you know, we spent lots of time with Gloria and stuff. We haven't done a great deal with Nathan, actually, so he's really upset, little tyke, so we'll spend the time with him. Nathan is already in bed, snoring. You approach your brother quietly and pat him on the head. He is startled, but starts smiling with joy when he realises it's you. Oh. Hi! Hey, can we go outside? I need your help with something. It's just supposed to be in bed. You creep silently downstairs. The air outside is damp, and drops of dew glisten in the night. Nathan drags you toward the bushes. A spotted kitten looks at you from the bushes with sad eyes. You see a bowl of water and some scraps of food next to it. Look, he ran into our yard today. See, he's got a broken paw. We need to save the poor kitten. Oh. You pat Nathan on the head. Together, you sneak the poor animal into the house and take him to the storage closet. Then you close the closet door and begin the treatment. If anyone is clumsy in your family, it is Nathan. Yet his hands are unusually accurate and calm as he binds the kitten's paw. You start chatting as you treat the kitten. As you think out loud about living in the capital and working towards your goal, Nathan strokes the poor animal's wet fur. He sighs. Oh, it's tough for me, you know, thinking about being a grown-up. I'm not much of anything, even now. I wish I could be like you. You sure know where you're going and who you're going to be. You shrug. No, I mean it. I can't be like that. They say I'm going to study too and go to the attorney and become a priest or go to the college, but there's no way I can make it there. Does that mean there's nothing else out there for me? You'll be leaving soon and I'll be all alone here. You write to me, I know you will, and you'll come back one day, but I'm scared I might lose my way when you're not around. You'll come back, but it'll be different. You'll be different. I'll be different too. You swear to Nathan that even if everything changes, you will always be his brother. You will always be there to offer him advice and support, and you have no doubt that he will find his way in life. It just takes time to find yourself, sometimes more than you might expect. The sun is about to rise. You should rest before the long trip, but you are not tired at all. Nevertheless, it's time for bed. Before you leave, Nathan hugs you again. Please promise you'll come back, Benedict. You swear to him that you will. You get into bed and fade away into a gentle, happy sleep. They will be waiting for you back here, no matter what. Prepared for anything. Are we? Departure. You leave the family home for a long time. Your future awaits you in Eterna, the capital of the Empire. Oh boy. Days of youth, the end of adolescence. Last night was your final night at home. The carriage is now waiting at the gate, ready to take you to the capital. The clip-clopping of the idle hooves against the cobblestones count the seconds before your departure. You take one more look at your parents' house and recall your childhood spent there, in the nearby yards, at your school, and on the winding streets of Anisot. You clashed with the greater world around you, and just about survived. You felt the tingle of emotion for the first time. You were taught by the school and the streets. You explored the city of your birth and learned something of its past. You witnessed first-hand events that will be remembered by history for all time. All of this is yours now, forever. You saw death, lesser death, followed by rebirth, and the true death that takes and never gives back. You saw death lying in wait to strike the unaware, like a beast stalking its prey. You saw grandfather's angry grimace lit by the flickering fire of the lamp, the Archduke's cavalry trampling those who stood in their way, and your older brother's bloodied sword slicing through the air. Death has followed you from a very young age. And yet, you live on. Commentator's curse there. You have a friend who has been by your side all these years. Thomas taught you many things, how to take a hit, how to keep your word, and how to remain true to your own self. And now Thomas is walking to the same carriage as you, with a heavy bag slung over his shoulder. Your friend will remain your companion for the time being. Ahead of you is a long trip towards the capital and adulthood. For the first time, you will be away from your family and home. What awaits you in the future? Oh, time will only tell. Oh boy, there we go. We have finished chapter 2. We have seen out our adolescence. Okay. So there you go. That's how we finished. So we got nobility level 3, ingenuity level 5, spirituality level 3. Willpower's up at 20, and we've currently died twice. We are now in our youth, it seems. How different will home be when we come back? Somebody will be dead. When we come back, I'm putting money on it. Somebody will have died. Telling you now.
Leaving my hometown behind, I set out for the capital of the empire. There, I would discover my role in society.
Chapter 3. Youth. A lesser death or their true death. That's very true. You've got to die 4 times, haven't you? It'd be a bit extreme if they were to experience a true death, wouldn't it, I suppose? Unless they've died a few times beforehand. But anyway, what do we do now? How do we move on? Oh, we just click the page. Okay. Leaving home. The driver flicks the reins. The carriage slowly sways as it starts moving away from your home. You stick your head out the window and wave goodbye to your family. Nathan is running after the carriage with Thomas's younger brother in tow, tears glistening in their eyes. It hurts to leave your home behind. Ahead lies Eterna, the imperial capital. You have often read about it and heard stories from Father and Stephen. It is a city that surpasses Anizot enormously in terms of size, age, wealth, and beauty. But what is it really like? What kind of life awaits you there? What will you learn there, and where will your actions take you? You pass the old walls of Anizot. Somewhere within them is the old fortress you and Thomas built together out of old wooden planks, now left to the care of your younger brothers. You two are adults now. Perhaps your fortress will crumble, now abandoned, or perhaps your brothers will continue what you started. Who knows? You look down at your hands, knuckles covered in scars from street antics, fingers stained with ink. Mother gave you a cross to wear away from home, and now you can feel its warmth against your chest. Your family counts on you, even though they all wish a different future for you. But they are behind you now, in Anizot. From this point on, only you will decide which road you will take. This is a journey you prepared for throughout your entire childhood. Ahead of you lie many years in the capital, years that will determine your fate and your place in society. I must feel like the game is giving us a warning or something here. Are you prepared? No? Uh-oh. Okay, so these are where our choices now come to bear fruit. So, new personal qualities. These are your personal qualities in adulthood, which you will use for the rest of your life. They are the sum of the qualities that you have gained in childhood and adolescence. For most skill checks, you will need a value between 10 and 16. Values 17 to 19 are required for rare and especially difficult choices. The maximum value 20 only gives you a chance for one extraordinary deed. So the fact that we've got diplomacy 9 is pretty crap, is what the game's telling us. So we had perception level 6, and on nobility level 3, which go together to create diplomacy at level 9. So diplomacy is our proficiency in the laws of the empire, as well as your connections and influence among the ruling elite of high society. It affects your ability to negotiate with people of importance, most important to the judge. Okay. So that's not off to a good start. We have the rest of our life to increase it. That's very true. That's very true. So we started off at 9. So this is our stat for dealing with the elite class. Okay. I suppose it's not a bad foundation then. Yeah, that's true. If 10 to 16 is usually pretty decent. Starting close to 10 is not bad. Okay, so that's diplomacy. Let's move on. Ooh, a cunning kind of person. So perception at level 6, combined with our ingenuity and quick-wittedness, combined to give us manipulation of 11. Influence people by way of deception and trickery. Most important to the conspirator. No, it's conspirator. Sorry, conspirator? Conspirator. So we're canny. We're a canny individual. Not very good with diplomacy, but we're quite quick-witted and a little bit deceitful. Interesting. So this is theology. This is our proficiency with sacred texts, comprehension of the divine law, and ability to construct and defend your interpretation of the faith. Most important to the Inquisitor. So that combines with our perception and our spirituality. So theology at level 9. Okay. So. Okay. Our valor. Your capabilities as a warrior. Strength in battles and duels. It affects your ability to fight and command troops. Clearly not a man of battle. We played with toy soldiers and whatnot, but ultimately not looking like, this is our calling here. Determination of level 2, nobility of level 3, combining for a valor of level 5. Yeah. We're a man that will be fighting with words rather than with swords, it seems. Also, what's this? Scheming. 7 isn't horrendous, so it's a talent for inciting riots, organising ambushes, plotting murders, assaults and sabotage. Determines the success of your criminal undertakings. Most important to conspirator. So what are we good at? So let's go through all of them first. This is eloquence, instill faith, guide and lead people with speeches. Not the most eloquent of people, it seems. Okay, so let's see. What were we good at? We were pretty good at diplomacy, so we're good. So that's important for a judge. So we could probably work on a bit of diplomatic stuff, which is all about speaking with the diplomatic types, the elite classes. This is also probably a speaking type thing. Deception, trickery. So we're a man of words, it seems. So that's good for... What's that good for? That's good for conspirator. That's good for judge. Yeah. This is theology. Not bad at theology either. So that's good for inquisitor as well. So we got one of each there. Okay. And then we're crap at that one, which is judge, 5, 7 conspirator, and 5 inquisitor. It looks like we might be quite good at conspiracies. Might end up inciting a few little things here and there. I quite like the thought of that. Incite a riot here, spread a few lies there. Say one thing to somebody's face and behind their back say something completely different to somebody else. That kind of person. Yeah, why not? We'll see how it pans out, but yeah. Some interesting little stats there. Okay, let's see how these all sort of intermingle and intertwine. Chapter 3, Youth. So we don't want to see the things here, but there's lots of different potential events here. So there's our stats again. So diplomacy 9, theology 9, manipulation 11, and valor, eloquence, and scheming. We've seen those. Okay. Anything else that we just want to make sure of before we proceed onwards? Nothing really. Got some good willpower. House of Brante. Everything still should be the same as we left it, really. We've increased our relationship with our brother, Nathan. It's the only change there. Now sympathetic. Map of the Empire. Well, here we are now in Eterna. Let's get this done. Let's do it. Let's see how we start out in Eterna as a young 16-year-old with the world before us. Is there a new patriarch? Oh yes, people have... Oh, look at that. People have, yeah, come of age a little bit. Right. How do we see if there's a new patriarch? I don't know. The province? Patriarch Cassius. Is that a new one? Patriarch of Magra, a known opponent of the new faith. Since Father Cassius assumed the Patriarch after Photis' death, he has become respected by the clergy and beloved by the old believers. So we've got a very pro-old faith Patriarch now. Still the same overseer, it seems. So here we go. Arrival in the capital. It takes a whole month to reach Eterna. You and Thomas spend the days wagging your chins and staring at the scenery as your carriage makes its way along the road and towards the next province. Soon it crosses from the familiar barren, arid lands of Magra to the stately mountains of Illyria. During one of your many stays at the roadside inn, or a roadside inn, the two of you even manage to share a whole bottle of strong wine and keep it a secret from the servant who drives the carriage. Adult life feels positively intoxicating. Or is that just the wine talking? Soon, I tell you, soon we'll be there, and I'll earn my sword as soon as I get accepted into the military academy. You'll see, and then nobody's going to walk all over me like I'm some commoner. You keep rehearsing everything they taught you in school. Soon, you are almost at the end of your long journey. You have left behind the arid rocks of Magra, the mountains of Illyria, and the flooded meadows of Artnia. Eterna, the capital, is right ahead. Situated at the junction between the Reglata and Talrina rivers, the city is vast. 3 majestic stone bridges keep its 3 shores interconnected. Smooth stone paves the main city streets. Gilded mouldings decorate the buildings. Towering pillars reach high into the sky. Your carriage takes you past a spacious park with marble fountains and intricately trimmed bushes. On the streets, you see ornately decorated carriages bearing Artnian coats of arms and abundant merchants' tents filling the streets with beckoning cries and unusual sights. The spires of ancient temples dot the city skyline. The carriage comes to a halt on a large city square with a towering marble fountain. The coachman says you have arrived. Thomas is to apply to the military academy. The academy barracks are 2 streets away. Your lodging house is in the alleyway nearby. A room has already been reserved for you. You get out onto the street and say brief goodbyes to each other. You promise to meet again after the entrance exams. Then your friend disappears into the crowded streets of the capital. What's the plan for the upcoming week? Oh, I'll get to that soon. I'm having my dinner soon, so I'll take a 5 minutes catch up after I've finished eating. You are left to your own devices, which is no good for you, champ, because you leave it at 9, right? You are left to your own devices in this vast city. A group of nobles walk past. They are dressed in well-fitting clothing decorated with gems and golden thread. You are not even noticed. Street urchins chase a dog down the alleyway. Soldiers of the Imperial Legion are marching to fifes and drums toward the barracks. Humble pilgrims are gathering to the great temple of the twins. There are the sounds of music and fountains and the smells of baked bread and garbage drains. Oh, that's nice. Fresh baked bread, delicious, lovely, mixed with garbage drains. Ew, not quite so nice. Anyway, yeah, CK2 tomorrow, so that's the next stream. That's as far as we need to think ahead right now. Take it one day at a time. You quickly check in at the lodging house, then go back outside. The sun is setting. The street lights come to life. Merry music fills the taverns. Couples and noble coaches with tinted windows fill the streets. Shadows and hushed voices and laughter fill the parks. You are all alone with this city, so vast and unfamiliar. You take a look around, determined to fill your first night in the capital with memories. You see young nobles gathered by the fountain talking and making jokes excitedly. One of them keeps glancing at the clock tower. They are about your age. Their clothes are hand-tailored and two of them bear noble swords. They seem to be waiting for something. It might be a good idea to make their acquaintance. It would be most helpful to develop a familiarity with the influential nobles of the capital. Loud music from a large establishment on the corner distracts you for a moment. The servants have just opened the shutters to air out the hall. It seems there will be a gathering inside. People from various estates greet each other as they take their seats. A servant by the door of the establishment hails you. Sir Gert Arkwright will be making a speech about the rights of the common estate. If you wish to listen, you'd better get inside quickly. Then you look at the great temple of the twins at the far end of the street. The pillar shines in the evening dusk above it. The temple gates are open and worshippers are flocking inside. There are too many people for an ordinary service. This must be something important. What do they preach here in the capital? What do they say of the new faith and the teachings of Patriarch Fotis? You snap out of your reverie when you hear loud laughter. A group of young men dressed in the colours of the Imperial College have made the acquaintance of several lovely girls. They are making their way down the road, united by merriment. One of the girls smiles at you. It is an invitation to join them. They turn the corner and walk away, but you can still hear their voices ringing and echoing through the street. A night of revelry and jolly, loud fun doesn't sound half bad. This is your first night in Eterna. No matter what you choose, you will remember it for a long time to come. Do we meet with the noble youths? Do we listen to Arkwright's speech? Do we visit the great temple of the twins? Or do we let it all go out and run after the students for basically a jolly old knees up and get drunk and merry? God. Well, we ain't listening to some drawling old speech, that's for sure. Noble youths tend to be stuck up. Temple, we don't know these people. Visit the great temple of the twins. I kind of want to be a priest. But I think running after the students is quite a distraction. And not only that, but a little girlie, smiled at us. We're going to have to run after the students. There'll be time for temple visits and boring speeches and meeting the youths in the college. This is a time to remember your first night. It's like being on holiday. This is a typical English thing to do, probably. But you go on holiday for to an all-inclusive hotel in the Caribbean, somewhere nice, where you get some decent alcohol, not some just cheap crap that you get in some European all-inclusives. You get there, first night, and it's like, right, it's the first night. You've got all the alcohol on the bar that you can possibly drink. You can have as much as you want because it's all-inclusive. I've paid for it, and what do? You just drink it all in the first night. You get horrendously drunk because why not? I'm on holiday. It's my first night I've been on holiday. I'm going to drink and I'm going to drink and I'm going to have that. And what's that? I'll try that. And I'm home. Before you know it, you're off your trolley. And that's how you always spend your first night. And then you always spend your first day getting sunburned because, hey, I love the sun and I'm sick of the cold weather here, so I'm just going to sit in it and burn. It's common practice. So same here. Yeah? Don't know how hot it is, but certainly first night we're gonna get drunk because that's what we do in these kind of situations. But anyway, let's see what we could have won. We could have increased our diplomacy and our manipulation, which could have been handy for dealing with noble types. We could have listened to the speech, which would have increased our manipulation and eloquence. Interesting. We could have visited the Great Temple, which would have increased our theology and our eloquence too. But we didn't do any of them things. So what we're going to do is we're going to run after the students, which will increase nothing at all. Oh no! Oh no! Oh flipping hell! We can't change our mind now because we're hell bent on getting merry. So we have lost the opportunity to gain any stats. Oh no! Why, Benedict? Just can you not learn from your previous mistakes? Oh God! Damn it! Arrival. Oh. The students' merriment is infectious, hence why we're here. You join their group. They are almost your age, maybe 1 or 2 years older. You see so many faces, and soon you are in a tavern somewhere in the city, getting to know so many people at a massive table. So many people you do not even bother to remember their names now. And the wine, oh the wine, it flows like water. A lively tune is playing in the tavern. A girl just a little bit older than you pulls you off your seat to dance. Her dress is unbuttoned a bit more than it is supposed to be. She smells of wine and honey. Oh, Benedict, you cheeky monkey. You copy her motions in the dance as your hand clasps her waist. It slides lower of its own accord, like it's got a mind of its own. She pulls away suddenly and stares into your eyes and then kisses you on the lips. You are startled at first, but soon you respond to the kiss as you pull her soft, supple body even closer. You spend all night dancing, only returning to the table to catch your breath and quench your thirst. The girl keeps embracing you and laughing and pouring even more wine into your glasses. You feel at ease. You feel carefree. You feel happy. And then she robs us blind. You do not remember returning to the lodging house. Your head and legs are aching in the morning. You can barely remember the names of the last night's companions. After some consideration, you choose to remain in bed for the rest of the new day, nursing a severe hangover. Wow. Okay, so we've sacrificed stats for willpower, which we could use to help us out of a sticky spot in the future, but hey. As I said, we are playing this in pure roleplay. I know there are ways and little means to do things in this game, but we will always pick the option which feels best. And be to hell and high water with the consequences. Okay. Nice. I think that was a memorable first night, don't you? Getting drunk, having maybe our first kiss. A slow dance, a quick dance, a hand sliding down supple body kind of dance. I mean, that's memorable, surely. Nursing a hangover the next day? Definitely memorable. I'm just going to nip downstairs, get me dinner, then we'll go through this little chapter, then I'm going to take a 10-minute break to eat my dinner, and then we'll proceed onwards with some more of our youth, which has gotten off to a cracking start. Don't feel as restricted and all the stuffiness of having to learn stuff. Now we're free. We can do our own stuff. Oh, we're an adult now. It's cool. Okay, sorry about that. I haven't finished my dinner yet, but I've eaten just less than half of it. I'll finish it off very shortly. But it is lamb stew, homemade lamb stew with some. I don't know how you would describe these potatoes, but they're potatoes that are almost like halfway through potatoes and halfway like chips, kind of thinly sliced and fried. What do you call them type of potatoes? I don't know. With some Yorkshire puddings and some veg. It's very tasty. Okay, so let's crack on. We'll do a couple of sub chapters here. So this is Luke's sermon. So you've probably read this, but basically we've been studying and we've taken a walk through the streets, and basically we notice that there is a procession of priests holding a banner of the new faith, which is an open book, which is the same banner that was behind Patriarch Fotis on that fateful day. Scallop potatoes? Yeah, it could well be scallop potato. Could be. Yeah. Although, you know, proper scallops you get from the fish and chip shop. Oh, delicious. Yeah, fish and chip shop, battered scallops, which are obviously potatoes. They're about that big. Put that into a bread cake, lashings of tomato ketchup and vinegar. Delicious. Oof. I may have to. Now that I've just mentioned that. One day this week for a treat, maybe. Because there's scallop potatoes and there's scallops, as in the fish scallops, which are slightly different, which I also like a lot as well, because I do like seafood. Okay, so anyway, let's not get distracted with food. Easily done with me. Spicy lentil and potato soup's just about done here. You're letting it simmer. For an upcoming storm. Oh dear. Oh God. Yes, we've had our storm for the year. No, it's not a storm. We've had our bad weather, our blizzard. I think that'll be it now for us here. We got quite a lot of snow on Friday. This part of the UK, it was enough so that I couldn't go to work because the streets were covered in snow where I lived. It was really nice, and the best thing about it was it only lasted a day. It lasted 2 days tops, because it's all gone today, because it's been really mild. It's gone from being really cold the past couple of days to suddenly being 9 degrees. So when I walked outside to go to football this evening, it was like, oh, I had a hat on and everything, a woolly hat, gloves. I was like, oh, it's actually quite warm in comparison. But anyway, so I reckon that's probably as much as we're going to get now, and hopefully going forward, bring forth the warm weather, if you don't mind. Thank you very much. So what's this sermon about then? Let's have a look. A crowd gathers around these priests. Many people are looking at an icon painting on a small pedestal depicting a grey-haired man with glowing green eyes. You'll recognise that face. The face of the late Patriarch Fotis. A man with a thick beard appears by the icon painting. His broad shoulders bear a white and gold cloak with the coat of arms of the capital province embroidered on it. He is Luke, Patriarch of Arknea. He casts his stern gaze over the crowd. I speak to all who live within the sight of the shining pillar. Exactly 1 year ago we lost Fotis, Patriarch of the Magra province, mentor of the new faith. Patriarch Fotis was the first to see the books of Esatius for nothing but the words of a man, not the words of the twins themselves. He was the first to tell people to seek the path to the gods in their own hearts instead of blindly following the lots, to seek answer in the lives of the twins and their own hearts rather than the words of the priests. Through Patriarch Fotis, we were able to see the truth. Through his death, we saw that his words are not heresy. They are the truth that used to be obscured by Esatius's lies. And now I bring good news. Patriarch Junius Diamant has seen to it that our teacher will be canonized as a saint. Yes, Junius Diamant, an Archnean from a great dynasty and the Patriarch of Astinia, has joined the new faith himself. And through this, we hope the entire empire will soon see that our doctrine is the truth. We are free from the shackles of the lots. We are equal before the twins. With each day, more and more people hearken to the truth, and one day the entire empire will hear our call. So let us pray, my brothers. The believers around you bow their heads in prayer and thank the twins, not for the lot they were given, as they usually would, but for the chance to choose their own path. The Patriarch's sermon is inspiring. It compels your hands to meet in a sign of prayer. It compels your lips to repeat the words of the new faith. Patriarch Luke's sermon forms a cadence, and your heart beats in time with it now. You recall the murder of Patriarch Fotis a year ago. It seems more patriarchs share his doctrine now. The news of Junius Diamant joining the new faith is stunning. If an Archnean from a great dynasty is shielded with Fotis' doctrine and agreed to see everyone as equals under the twins, the new faith must truly be putting down roots. But suddenly several figures appear by the podium, figures clad in black with glinting silver on their sides. Inquisitors. They push through the crowd and form a circle around Patriarch Luke. One of these priests rises before the crowd. He is clean-shaven, tall, with chiseled features. Everyone falls silent at the sight of him. The Inquisitor speaks with a booming voice that can be heard by all. I am Father Ulrich. In the name of the twins and by my right as an Inquisitor, I order you to turn around and leave. The words you're hearing are full of lies. Patriarch Luke has set out to poison your hearts and minds, and the Inquisition will not allow this heresy to spread. The only true path in life is the will of the twins. Life offers us no other choice. You are hereby ordered to disperse at once. Most people leave the square immediately. Few want to get involved with the Inquisition. Some people stay, however, and some even shout angrily, "We want to listen to Luke! He is a Patriarch of Archnia, and he has more to say. Get away from our sermon, old believers! We will not listen to you and your hoary old lies about the lots." Inquisitors, bring those who may yet listen back to their lots and leave others to the champions of faith. The black-clad Inquisitors descend from the podium and approach the people who chose to stay. With nothing but their words, they make people stop shouting and start listening. The uproar ceases quickly. They have dissected the crowd, split it in smaller groups that surround each Inquisitor. One of these Inquisitors chooses to approach you. He is a humble-looking man of age with a rough haircut. He looks you straight in the eye as his lively, soulful voice forces you to listen to his words despite yourself. My name is Father Jeremiah. I know your thoughts were stirred by the Patriarch's words, yet you are not sure whom to trust. But I teach at the seminary. I have been studying the teachings of the twins my entire life. You can trust me. I know you can hear what I have to say. I see their light in your eyes, the light of the true faith. Will you listen to my counsel, my son? You feel no malice in the words of the Inquisitor Jeremiah, only hope. It is his lot to aid you, to guide you away from error and set you on the path of the true faith. He is a priest, so he should know the truth. Or perhaps the Inquisitor himself is in the wrong. What's the harm in listening to counsel? We're not here to debate. We're not here to resist. Resisting right now would seem rather foolish. So let him chunter on, and we shall draw our conclusions at the end of it all, I suppose. So debating him would have increased eloquence. Resisting him would have increased diplomacy. Listening increases theology. Ooh, okay. At this crossroads in your life, in an unfamiliar city, you honestly need advice. You lower your gaze and ask Father Jeremiah to show you the way and guide you from error and doubt. The Inquisitor smiles and takes your hand. My son, all of us may sometimes stray from the path predetermined by the twins. You are well dressed, yet I presume you are of the common estate, are you not? You nod, and Father Jeremiah sighs. In these difficult times, people of your estate are the ones most tormented by doubt. Your lot is suffering, but not all of you are ready to suffer. Some turn to guile and cunning to avoid it, and they end up in eternity's embrace at the foot of the pillar. Cunning, you say? Us? No, don't be ridiculous. Please understand, my son. Your lot requires humility. Suffering is inevitable, so is doubt. Each of them may temper your soul, yet each may also destroy it. But know this, if you have doubts, you are always welcome at the temple. No priest will turn you away in a moment of weakness. This is why we exist, to fortify faith in the hearts of all people, to bring the word of the twins to those who have gone astray. Know this. The Inquisition does not imprison everyone suspect of heresy. We exist to protect souls, to guide and save them. We pursue dangerous doctrines and seek to rescue every soul we meet. Arrest or execution is our last resort, reserved only for sinners beyond redemption. You can see that I am merely speaking to you right now. I have not resorted to force, nor am I giving you orders. You are following your lot by hearing my counsel with humility. With this in mind, consider the following. Did the Patriarch speak the truth? You consider this question. Your fascination with Patriarch Luke's speech has vanished. Was it a sermon or a temptation? The Patriarch of Arknea made you doubt your faith in your lot. He made you see darkness and doubt. But all this time, your lot has remained the same as the one you were born with. You fold your hands in prayer and thank the Inquisitor for his counsel. The light of the twins will keep you on their path, and not even a Patriarch will ever be able to intervene. Only a new sacrament, and not your will, can change your lot, you explain, and only the Imperial College can lead you to a second sacrament. Your voice starts shaking as you say this. Father Jeremiah notices. This is not the only way, my son. You can always come to the Divine Seminary and become a priest. If you come to the seminary and prove you deserve the lot of the clergy, you will be accepted. I teach there, and I am always happy to see students of considerable talent. Your connection to the twins is strong indeed. Only people such as you have it in them to guide and care for others. The work of a priest is no less important than the work of a judge. You bid farewell to Father Jeremiah. While you were talking, the world around you seemed to vanish. There was just you, him, and the word of the twins. The square is calm now. The Inquisitors are providing counsel to those who remain. Patriarch Luke and his retinue can no longer be seen. You walk back to the lodging house, mulling over Father Jeremiah's words about the seminary. Your family sent you to earn a noble title, but you have an opportunity to become a priest of the old faith or the new. If you see your destiny in service to the gods, no one has the right to stand in your way. Is this the path to our priesthood? The advance of the new faith. Patriarch Luke's sermons have converted many commoners and nobles of the mantle to the new faith. There are now several temples in Eterna that follow the new canons, with Luke's blessing. This has led to no small amount of anger among the followers of the old faith. Two mighty bishops of the church lead the new faith. One of them is Luke, the Patriarch of Arkney himself, spiritual mentor of the capital province. He preaches all across Arkney, his every sermon adding to the new faith's flock. The other leader of this new faith is Patriarch Junius Diamant. Hailing from a great Arkneyan dynasty, he is the de facto ruler of Astynia province. Adored by his subjects, he has founded the Holy Order anew. Junius Diamant rarely preaches, but people believe the Astynian Patriarch attends to the needs of all who convert to the new faith. This schism within the church is growing. The split has furthered the divide between the commoners and the nobles, though thankfully there has been no direct conflict as of yet. But it has become clear that there is no way to stop the steady advance of the new faith. Born from the death of Patriarch Fotis, it grows stronger by the day. Schism going up, discontent, or order going down? The city that never sleeps. Okay, so I'm going to finish my dinner, which won't take me too long now, and then we're going to crack on. But things are taking an interesting shape here. I'm liking this. I'm liking this indeed. Let's see how it pans out. But give me literally 5 minutes to finish this, and then we'll be back. We'll be back again for some more suffering. Not so much suffering today. Touch wood. Not so much suffering today. Lots of joviality and drunkenness and debauchery. Oh, right. Whew. Okay. Right, so onwards and upwards. The city that never sleeps. We like the sound of that. So the next few weeks pass by in hard work and preparation for the coming entrance exam at the Imperial College. You grow more and more exhausted with each passing day, so much so that one night you fall asleep while studying another book. When you finally come to, you decide it is high time to get some recreation outside. The city of Eterna amazes you as you stroll through its splendid streets. It is another night, a different night, yet the city is beautiful still. The shining pillar is a slice of light against the dark night sky. The lamp on the facades of the buildings are lit. Night descends on the capital. You don't feel like going back to your books tonight. Oh, here we go. This is how it starts. Off to the taverns again, are you, Benedict? Recently you made the acquaintance of several young men. They are children of nobles of the mantle just like you, sent to the capital to earn their noble titles at the college. You decide to seek them out. Your new friends are having a late dinner on the next street over, loudly discussing their plans for the night. Some speak eagerly of a dueling club where you can see the most skilled and ardent jewellers in the Empire doing what they do best. You have never seen professional jewellers fight. It must be far more exciting than father's fencing lessons, or that fight in the ruins in Anisot. And if luck favours you, perhaps you can even make useful contacts among the noble families in the capital. The others try to convince the rest to take a trip to a certain secret salon. The establishment is expecting a guest tonight. They say, a young lady who speaks about the true state of the affairs of the Empire. There are many questions about the nature of the place and identity of the mysterious speaker, but the young men have only one answer. They are forbidden to speak about this outside the club. However, they can take you there as long as you aren't afraid to learn a dangerous truth. There are others still drinking their fill of wine rather than eating. Fencing, they say, speeches, nonsense. The place you ought to go tonight, they claim, is the Markian Society, a gathering for those of common estate but uncommon opinions that offers pleasures for everyone. Pleasures of the palate, pleasures of drink, pleasures of the flesh. Is this not heresy and a crime? Perhaps, and yet some of your newfound friends are eager to go there. In the end, your group splits into three and spends the night as they see fit. What will it be? A contest featuring the best fencers in Eterna, an establishment both mysterious and dangerous, or an encounter with people who defy their lot with audacity? You weigh your options. Okay, so we've already been drinking, so we're not an alcoholic here. Drinking was fun the first night, but now we need to get ourselves acquainted with the various facets of the city. And if we're going to be a sneaky, beaky kind of person that uses, a bit of wordplay and quick wit and whatever else, what was the stat that we had? Canny. Then we need to discover secrets so that we can then maybe use them, as information is power, right? So I'm thinking dueling club, clearly not. Markian Society drinking, clearly not. However, the secret salon, definitely. Mysterious lady and a dangerous speech. Yeah, so I'm just making sure I got the right one, because that's definitely the pleasures and the alcohol and the stuff. This is the secret establishment thing. So which gives us +1 to scheming. Which is perfect. Perfect. The secret salon is an unremarkable wooden building down an alleyway a few blocks from the great temple of the twins. A couple of tough, taciturn fellows at the door eye you suspiciously. Their faces are obscured by hoods. One of your newfound friends nods to them, and you are allowed inside. The inner rooms are stuffy and overcrowded. All the partitions have been removed to make room for more people. There is a raised platform next to one of the walls, perhaps a stage. There are benches all around. They are occupied by people of the common estate, most of them modestly dressed. They are artisans, tinkers, street vendors, students, yet you see that some of them are wealthy and impeccably dressed. A mop-headed young man dressed like a low-ranking clerk appears on the stage. He claps to attract the public's attention. When the house goes quiet, he reads a series of pamphlets condemning the supreme authorities of the Empire and their obsolete rule. A group of young men appear on the stage next, their faces covered in blue paint. They perform a derisive play entitled A Day in the Life of the Tempests. The performances are many, but their goal is always the same. They all claim the Empire is stuck in the past and has to change. Then finally, after another voice of accusation, a young girl appears on the stage and the crowd immediately grows silent. Hello, JC. Welcome. And it is, thank you very much. Hope you're well too. I was thinking Sophia, but we were told that we wouldn't see Sophia for a long, long time, so I don't think it is. Or maybe it is. That looks like her portrait, right? This is her, the mysterious guest they were talking about. You look at her from the crowd, you see short black hair, a slender figure, and those familiar, shining eyes. It is Sophia. Brothers and sisters, you all came to this place because deep in your hearts, you know. It's Sophia, the girl who used to live next door. She's grown so much since you've last seen her, but what is she doing here? But before Sophia even finishes her first sentence, a short man in a shabby jacket jumps up onto the stage. He flashes a badge and screams at the crowd, "Nobody move! You're all under arrest as accomplices to an insurrection against the Empire!" Imperial gendarmes barge into the house, swords and crossbows glint in the dim light. First, there is confusion, then panic. Screams of fear and outrage fill the hall. Sophia is already gone. You can barely hear the cries demanding that you stay where you are. People start pushing against the gendarmes, against the doors, against the windows. The din is deafening. Only one thought remains in your mind. You have to run. Run away as fast as you can. You push your way to the furthest window in the hall. A hand grabs you by the sleeve of your jacket. You pry it off without looking and keep pushing forward. The expensive jacket starts to tear at the shoulder. The window frame breaks and falls outside. You drop down after it. Shards of glass bite into your hands, but you barely feel the pain. You'll have time to feel it later. But now you need to run! You run and dodge and weave through the alleyways before finally heading for the lodging house. Your heart is racing. Your hands are shaking. Blood is dripping from the cuts on your arms. You have no idea what happened to the people who were arrested. Finally, you reach your room and collapse onto the bed. You are safe from pursuit, but not from anxiety. What was Sophia going to say? How did she end up here in the capital after she escaped? Was she arrested too? There are too many questions, but you have no way to answer them. Eventually, you drift off into a restless sleep. Should have gone to the dueling club. A lot less drama. Holy hell. Naughty Benedict. Can you not just do things that aren't going to get you killed? I mean, my God, man. Have you got a death wish, brother? Okay, the Codes of Lords, spring of the year 1135, here in the capital. You are on your way to the largest library in Eterna to study for your entry exams, which we still haven't had yet. It is right next to the college. The streets are full of people. Everybody is excited. You hesitate for a few seconds, then let your curiosity get the better of you and head towards the place where you will soon study. Before long, you hear the shouting. The great Chancellor is about to give a speech about the future of the Empire. You cannot possibly miss this. You mix with the crowd and soon find a convenient place to listen and watch what it's about to unfold. On the steps of the college you see a small tribune guarded by two Archnians armed with swords. This is the first time you've ever seen an Arknian standing guard, let alone two of them. The doors of the college open to reveal a stately Arknian surrounded by an honour guard. It is he, Cornelius Tempest, great Chancellor of the Empire, younger brother to the Emperor himself. He heads for the tribune and casts a look over the square. It is full of people in awe and utter silence. Long ago, humans witnessed the Arknians' arrival. The two nations built empire side by side. The provinces joined us one by one, and Magra was the final province to attain the absolute might and majesty of the blessed Arknian Empire. Yet there was another great event long before that. 1,000 years ago, the twins had graced us with their presence. With their arrival, the twins granted us their will. They showed us their love and their law. They granted us knowledge of what awaits us in the hereafter. They chose the dynasty of Tempest to rule the empire, and from that day, our dynasty has ruled this land, ordained by the gods themselves. However, it is our duty to the twins not to seek power for power's sake, but rather to lead the empire to further prosperity. And so the Great Imperial Council is soon to review and adopt a new set of laws called the Creed. Under the Creed, all estates will be granted rights. Under the Creed, there will be one law for all Imperial citizens to obey, human or Arknian, from the lowliest commoner to the Emperor himself. The strife amongst the estates will end. A single law will resolve all of our quarrels. Glory to the Empire! The great Chancellor throws his arms into the air. The crowd murmurs and applauds in approval. Cornelius Tempest casts another look over the crowd and leaves. The crowd disperses. The sounds of agitated discussion are everywhere. Is it true that the Emperor's dynasty seeks to grant equal rights to all estates? What will happen to the Empire then? Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Abolishing the lots, is that what's happening here? The girl from your past. Ooh. It is early morning. You have been awake since sunrise, studying. There is a knock at the door. Is it a letter from home or a hotel servant? You open the door and freeze, stunned. Hello, Brante. Before you stands Sophia, the girl who used to live next door. She is all grown up now. She looks so different, but you would always recognize those blue eyes, no matter what. You gesture for her to come in. Sophia enters the room, glances around and sits in an armchair. You eye the girl you used to know as you sit across from her. But the young woman you see now has little in common with the girl you used to know. There is cold steel in the way she looks at things. Her hair is cut short. But what is she doing here? I can explain. I've been living in Eterna for a long time now, ever since I ran from Anisot. I heard the other day that you'd left for the capital to get into the college. So I found you. And here I am. You ask how Sophia learned about your arrival and where you were staying, but she answers your questions with an enigmatic smile. We'll get to that later. Right now, I want to see how much you've changed since we last saw each other. As for me, I've changed a lot. I'm a whole different person now. You look away as you recall your previous encounter, back when Sophia ran away from her Arknian master. Sophia chuckles as she continues. Would you like to know what happened next? I travelled through the entire empire all alone. I had nothing. My journey ended only when I reached this place, the capital, with all its important people and events. This is the heart of the empire. It's a place where I can make a difference. I've made friends here, found people I can truly call my family. I've even gotten an education of sorts. And I have a purpose now. I fight against injustice. I fight against the lots. I fight those who treat our lives like mud on the pavement. And no, I'm not afraid to tell you that. I came to you for a good reason. I need help. I know you. I have faith in your good heart. And besides, this is also about the Imperial College you want to enroll in. There is a scholar there by the name of Bartholomew Dexter. He teaches natural sciences at the college. Dexter is an old man, but he's quite progressive. He'll stop at nothing to advance science and acquire new knowledge. As you know, only second-generation nobles or above are allowed to teach at the college, but Dexter, he is a commoner. He forged his patent of nobility to get a position at the college, but the secret chancellery recently learned of this. Dexter is about to face true death for this forgery. But how is that justice? A man wants to teach people, and for this they're going to take all his lives? They're going to punish him for the crime of being born in the wrong estate? It's evil and obscene, and I will not stand for it. Dexter deserves to be rescued. But I don't want to put anyone in danger, so I need your help. You're from a rich family. You're almost a noble. If you help me get Dexter out of the city, nobody will suspect anything. No one will know, and the scholar will live on to continue his research elsewhere, far away from the secret chancellery. Will you help me? Oh, God. You feel perplexed by Sophia's sudden request. She is asking you to break imperial law and undermine the work of the secret chancellery to save this scholar. Rescuing Dexter would be an adventure, but it would also be incredibly dangerous. And besides, Dexter is a fake noble. He resorted to lies and deceit to get his current position. How much does this matter to you? Sophia's blue eyes are studying you, waiting for your reply. Oh, God, Sophia. Getting us into all manner of trouble. We're not even... Have we even taken our entrance exams yet? Right, what's this one? We can't do this one anyway. We would need to be... we need to have Sophia as a merciless state. Okay, so we can help her or we can refuse to help her. She's come to us, she stood there. She's a changed woman. But she does make good points. And, you know, if we're kind of going down the line at this moment in time of this whole, well, it's a lot nonsense and stuff. Perhaps helping her, she may be able to help us in return in the future. It could be dangerous, but hey. When she stood there with the blue eyes glaring at us, we're almost like putty in her bloody hands. If we'd have refused, we'd have gained diplomacy and valour, but made her a little bit more unhappy with us. So this wouldn't be too bad. Helping her, of course, uses willpower and gets us scheming again, and valour too, and Sophie's relations increase. Okay. Damn blasted blue eyes. You promised to help Sophia. Bartholomew Dexter does not deserve this. He has to leave the capital. She can count on you. I knew I could count on you. Then we must act at once. There's no time to waste. Dexter is to be arrested tomorrow. Here's his address. Go there as soon as the sun sets. No one will suspect you. Dexter often tutors young men for the college entrance exams. Tell him the owl sent you. Use the back door to get out. A carriage will drive up to the backyard. The driver will hoot like an owl. He'll take you to the south gate. If the guards stop the carriage, just talk your way out of it. We're good at that. Once you're outside the city, Dexter will ride away in a different carriage. You'll go back the way you came. I'll meet you in Majesty Square. You nod to her words, and your hands start to shake. You are about to go against the secret chancellery. You are going to help someone escape punishment. To defy your own lot like this? It's unthinkable. When the sun sets, you leave the lodging house and walk quickly, glancing over your shoulder repeatedly. Bartholomew Dexter's house must be somewhere around here. You find the place. A genteel old man opens the door. His face is covered in wrinkles, his shoulders are stooped, and yet his eyes are sharp and lively. Bartholomew Dexter looks at you for a moment, then asks why you have paid him a visit. You tell him you want to enroll in the college and are looking for a tutor. Dexter nods and invites you inside. Once you make sure nobody else can see or hear you, you whisper to the scholar about the real reason for your visit. The secret chancellery will be coming for him tomorrow, and he has to leave now to escape true death. Dexter freezes, then turns to you. How do you know about him and the secret chancellery? You tell him that the owl sent you and has provided for his escape. As for the secret chancellery, they want him for forging a patent of nobility. The moment you utter Sophia's name, the lecturer calms down and starts packing for the journey. You watch him distractedly and notice that he lives in a rather austere fashion. It does not take him long to pack. You hear the quiet clacking of hooves in the yard. Carefully, you and Dexter proceed to the backyard of the building. You see a carriage there. The driver hoots quietly. You get in. The carriage rolls down the road. There is a tense silence in the closed-off space inside the carriage. The scholar wrings his hands anxiously. Through the carriage windows, you see the massive city gate passing by. You are almost outside the city, but then a loud voice reaches you. Halt! The driver immediately halts the carriage. 2 city gendarmes approach you. And this is where we probably face our first test as to whether we've got a high enough stat to deal with this position. You leave the carriage to face the gendarmes before they can get a peek inside the carriage. They look you over and ask where you are going so late at night. You tell them you are the son of a judge in Magra, here to enroll in the college, and right now you wish to visit the estate of a newfound friend. To convince them further, you mention the name of a noble son you have become friendly with. The gendarmes release the carriage and wish you a pleasant trip. You drive along the high road until you encounter a peasant wagon. Dexter will take it to seek refuge far away from the capital. Before the two of you part ways, he pats you on the shoulder and tells you that you have done a truly brave deed. You return to the city without incident. You find Sophia in Majesty Square as agreed, sitting on a bench by a streetlight, reading a book of some sort. She closes the book when she sees you and offers you her hand. So, did everything go according to plan? You nod. Then we've earned ourselves a bit of free time. Let's go. You set off on a walk through the maze of the narrow back streets. Finally, you have some time for questions. What happened to Sophia over the last 2 years? She was just a girl before a servant. How is she now a revolutionary? Sophia just smiles sadly. You've seen what I can do. I'm not just a girl. The Inquisition caught up with me when I ran away from Anisot. I ended up in the House of Humility, a dreadful place. I got collared. Do you know how it feels to lose your free will? Lose everything that makes you you? She unclasps the tall shirt collar that had been hiding her neck all this time, and you see the round mark from the anti-magic collar. They say a scar like this will remain even after a lesser death, but I got lucky. Patriarch Junius Diamant saved me. Diamant took me and the other mages from the House of Humility and removed our collars. He made me one of his attendants. He taught me that there are no lots. He told me that I'm like this not because I'm a freak, but because it's my nature. He told me I can find a path to the twins like anyone else in the world. And then I was taken. I got out of my own. I found my own lot to protect the common people from the noble yoke, to help others who are as unlucky as I am. To fight for a different world, a world where everybody has equal rights, a world where mages don't get robbed of their will just because of one aspect of their birth, a world when the nobles no longer tread upon the commoners. Yes, this is our dream, but we are still so far away from it. But I will keep moving towards it, and I'll stop at nothing. A strange, distorted expression appears on Sophia's face, but she quickly returns to normal. You keep walking until you are at your lodging house again. For a moment, you just stand there looking at each other. Then suddenly, Sophia embraces you. For a moment, she remains still in your arms and whispers, "You should join my cause. If we work together, one day we'll become a force to be reckoned with. I know you came here to find your way, but I'll never believe you really want to bind yourself to other people's laws and desires for the rest of your life. The path I walk is dangerous. It's almost hopeless, but it's worth living for. Think about it. Bye." Then she withdraws just as quickly and disappears in the dark streets of Eterna. You make your way back to your room, exhausted by the events of the day. Was this really just a single day in your life? We're getting quite good at scheming. The entrance exams will be a relief. These blasted exams. You ain't got much studying done. So many distractions.
I will never forget that day.
Uh-oh.
For it was then that I chose the path I would walk for the rest of my life.
Uh-oh. Decision time. The 3 lots. Ooh, 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 ooh. There are only a few days left until the Imperial College entrance exam. History, law, theology, you spend all day reading and rereading the books you brought with you, staying at the Library of Eterna for hours, sometimes until it closes. As the day of the exam approaches, your hands start shaking more and more. And finally, the day comes. A clear sky hangs over Eterna today. The breeze is warm. You dress in your best outfit, a grey jacket and velvet culotte trousers. You comb your hair carefully and polish your boots until they shine. You leave the lodging house and head for the Imperial College. Your legs grow heavier with each step. Your anxiety at the fact your fate will be decided today is virtually tearing you apart. The college is a majestic building that looks not unlike a castle. In the square in front of it, you can already see several dozen people, young men, sons of nobles of the mantle like you, waiting for the college's doors to open. Time slows to a crawl. At last, the doors open. A stately man dressed in a professor's mantle appears at the entrance. He is the dean of the college. The students-to-be fall silent as the dean gets ready to deliver his welcoming speech. But the silence is interrupted by heavy footsteps and clanking armour. A squadron of warriors emerge near the college, led by Artnian officers. Their banner bears an image of golden grades. The noble militia of Monia province? What are they doing here? The nobles of Monia form a circle around the college, each warrior moving quietly and precisely until a chain is formed. One of the Artnians is clad in an old-fashioned suit of armour. He is the leader of the militia. He locks the bar on the massive doors of the college into place, then proceeds to the stairs to address the crowd loudly. Egerius Monrogue? Commoners! Before you stands Egerius of the Monrogue dynasty, Archduke of Monia. By my will, the college is hereby closed and today's entrance exam is cancelled. Studied for this damn thing. Your lowly origins make you unfit for the great honour of rendering service to the Empire, a right that ought to be available only to the hereditary nobles of the sword. The college's reputation has been tarnished. It breeds mock nobles who bear not a trace of noble blood. You belong in the lowly estate, but have forgotten your place. Cornelius Tempest and other traitors to the Empire are indulging you and defacing the institution of the nobility for their lowly interests. A noble lot for those of lowly birth. How can this be? I will not stand for this disintegration of imperial order. Now turn away from the college this instant and return to the humble trades of your ancestors. Plough your fields, mend your boots, and work and suffer by your lot. If any of you dares to set foot upon these stairs, you will be killed at once. The students-to-be meet this speech with a stunned silence. The crowd in the square is growing, however. The news of the Monian noble militia and the college's closing spreads through the streets like wildfire. More humans join the crowd, college students, commoners, officials who worked hard to be ennobled. Unrest grows around you. You hear people calling to rush Archduke Monroe's forces to take control of the college and defend your right to become noble. The Emperor himself gave us this right. We have to fight for it. This is a decisive moment for all of you. The old gentry has challenged you. Will you accept this challenge? In the face of this shameful, illegal act by the Archduke's forces, you may prove that all of you deserve the noble lot. You will need to break through the cordon, get inside the college and take control of it. The nobles will never dare hurt you if your presence is strong enough. If you are ready to risk it all and fight for your right to the nobility, you will have to lead the charge. What? Why? Hello? No? People keep coming to the square in the meantime, including students and teachers from the Divine Seminary. The lot of the clergy is to guide others to the right path. When the estates clash, the priests are bound to intervene. The seminary teachers instruct their students to form a line between the noble militia and the outraged crowd. The priests begin telling the warrior nobles and the riotous commoners to return to the preordained divine order lest they provoke the wrath of the gods. The wrath of the gods? As the priests utter these words, the crowd around you disappears. A vision appears before your eyes. The Empire is ablaze. You see burning lands steeped with pain and despair everywhere you look, rivers overflowing to extinguish the burning world. You can tell that soil scorched by such fire will never bear fruit again. The God's given vision demands to be heard, demands to be prophesied to the world, but only a priest may speak to the twins and for the twins. Will you keep it inside, or will you step onto the path the twins have revealed to you? Somebody shoves you in the back and you snap out of the vision. You turn around to see a small but decisive troop of commoners moving quickly through the crowd. They are led by Sophia. As soon as she sees you, she signals to them to stop. So, you're here too? Going to rush the college, are you? Can't you see it already? The laws cannot be trusted. They gave you the right to study here just to throw you a bone. When the going gets tough, your masters will take it all away. It's time for you to decide. We are the Lotless, and we are not putting up with this system any longer. We will fight for a new world. Are you coming with us, or are you going to submit to them? There are students and professors locked inside the college. Who knows how long Monroe will maintain this siege, and what if they start slaughtering people? Neither group of nobles will care what happens to them. We're going to go inside and pull them out. Come with us if you're ready to take control of your own destiny. The tension in the square is palpable and the situation is about to implode. Students, commoners, nobles of the mantle, followers of the new faith, all of them are gathering their forces to move on the wall of the soldiers. They expect the nobles to let them through en masse. Surely they won't start a massacre. The Lotless, led by Sophia, prepare to break through the siege to rescue the people in the college. And all the while, the priests preach peace to both sides of the conflict. Chaos! The college is your only way into the nobility. Only you can fight for your new lot and fulfill your duty to your family. You could organize an offensive strong enough to get into the college and thus seize your lawful right like a true nobleman. Yet the revelation about the wrath of the gods still pulses in your mind. Once revealed, this vision will take you on a different path. Standing with the priest and preaching what you have just seen, warning all of the dire danger on the path of warring estates. Bringing the twins' word to the people and guiding them to salvation. Could this be your new lot? Sophia and the Lotless. They expect you to join their struggle. They are waiting for you to cast off the old ways and the eternal yoke of subservience. If you choose this path, you will not change your lot and your suffering will continue, but your suffering might just change this world. This is the moment. Your future life will be decided here and now. Okay. Holy hell, fire and brimstone. Literally. We can't break into the college for whatever reason, because we don't have enough diplomacy and valor. We can preach our revelation, or we can follow the Lotless. I said I wanted to be a priest. We've just been given a flipping revelation here. We've just been given a revelation by the gods But also, don't forget, didn't we have like a vision or something happen to us when we were just born as well? We saw like shadowy figures. I think it's time for... It's not time for following Locklesses and storming a building. Oh, God. Damn Sophia. But this is probably a step too far. I mean, obviously, this whole lockless path does strike a chord with us. Certainly, that's the end goal that we would hope to achieve as well. But I don't think overtly doing it is our path here. I don't know what the prospects are down the line, but the intention was to spread the new faith, which essentially is the same thing, right? This kind of lockless society, everyone's treated equally, from within, and use our power as a priest to do that. So I think, and given that we've also been given this vision, I mean, it could be the twin gods manipulating us, but ultimately, we've been given a vision here too, which also kind of strikes a chord about maybe we do have, a greater destiny here on the path of priesthood. All the lines seem to be steering us down to the priestly path. Yeah, definitely. And as somebody that's more of a cunning kind of person, diplomacy wasn't too bad. Definitely a talker. Hopefully we can use our preaching abilities here as well. Yes, it's got to be. So if we follow the Lockless, then we basically just join the path of the Lockless. But if we preach, we join the path of the priest. Oh, so you only need one of the two, not both of them, to get the option available. So preach. So theology was just about 10. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had a chance. Wouldn't have had a choice. The priestly path is the path that we're going to take. The priestly path. I can't believe it. I never ever thought we'd be going down a priestly path in a game for quite a while, to be fair. The will that guides you is now beyond your own. There is no point in resisting it. The twins speak through you now. You have to follow the will of the twins. You must. You must tell everyone how close they have brought themselves to the point of no return. Because you listened to that priest, you had this choice. Yes. Took us over the 10 that we needed. You walk up the stone stairs, raise your hands and start speaking loudly. Oh, here we go. This is the start of it all. We've come into our own now. Through the din of the mob, the clanging of steel and the preaching of priests, your words still reach the ears of the people. There will be a dreadful fire in the city of the silver tree. In its flames, the ancient order will be lost forever. The god's wrath will be upon the empire, and the land shall be soaked with blood. Their judgment will come, followed by the death of all that lives. The last thing the world shall see will be the twins' faces shedding bloody tears for their beloved creations that have gone astray. Such is the world's fate. It is not too late to change it. As you utter the last words of the revelation, you grow numb and rigid as the vision leaves you. There is a crowd around you now. They hear, or they heard your every word. They heard the twins speaking through you. A hooded man dressed in a black cassock appears before you. He bears a silver seal of the Inquisition. He is accompanied by 2 warriors wearing heavy armour covered in sacred symbols. "Seize this pretender! He dares to preach in defiance of his lot." They grab you by the wrists and gag you and throw you into a dark carriage. It takes you to the Inquisition ward by the great temple of the twins. A week of silence. This is the Inquisition's punishment for laying claim to the lot of the clergy. You are locked in a tiny cell, a small room normally fit for prayers. The inhuman strength you just felt is gone. You are utterly exhausted. The next week is a blur. You lose track of day and night, of dream and vision and reality. And in those visions and with your eyes, you see the silver tree growing through the walls and floor and ceiling of that tiny prayer cell. Then finally, the door opens. They take you outside. You face a thin priest with a shaved head and a piercing gaze. You recall his face. He was the man who stopped Patriarch Luke's sermon. "Good day to you, Brante. My name is Father Ulrich. Your penance is over, and it is a joy to see how you accepted it. Please understand that penance was for you as a commoner, for such prophecies of warning are the lot of the clergy. But I heard your words there, in the square. The twins spoke to their servants through you. You came to the college seeking education and a noble title, yes? Its doors will open soon, in no small part due to the efforts of Cornelius Tempest. But that is not your path. What you saw, young Brante, was a revelation. I can see why you had to preach, even in defiance of your lot. But truly understanding the will of the gods is no simple task. It is something that you must be taught to do. Your future is at the seminary. I can see you are ready to become a priest. The gods themselves have chosen this path for you. I will keep a close eye on your progress, Benedict Brante. You walk out of the Inquisition ward released. The great bell of the great temple rings, echoing over the capital, and you feel a great union with the sound. It resounds within you. It courses through you. It brings clarity of purpose. Before your mind reacts, your lips are already whispering a prayer. This is it. This is your path. The Divine Seminary is right by the great temple, its doors always open. And you enter those doors. The teachers will test you in several days. Before that day comes, you must live in a prayer cell at the seminary. When the day comes, they put you to the test. A priest examines you and your knowledge of the prayers, the works of Prophet Esatius, and the signs of the Great Descent. In your responses, you mention the silver tree in your hometown. You mention being at its very roots. The final question comes. What brings you here? The wish to see and understand the will and love and the law of the twins, you reply. The priest nods at your words, satisfied. You are now a student of the Divine Seminary. This is your new home and the place you will prepare to receive your new lot. You will become a priest. By the law of the Empire, you cannot inherit family property or titles. You are to carry the word of the twins into the world. From this moment forth, and until true death takes you to the hereafter. Wow. Wow, we've turned to religion, folks. Path of the Priest event has happened. So we've enrolled in the seminary. We have theology at least 10. Okay, here we go. Priesthood awaits. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do this last sub-chapter and then we'll call a close to the session. I mean, although now is actually quite a good place to end it, I suppose. Given that we've literally just found our lot. We've got a flashing thing here. The Path of the Priest. Look at that. Yes, indeed. Right, okay. So this is actually quite a nice place to end, because this is our friend Tommen, isn't it? Thomas, rather. So this could be us saying our goodbyes, I suppose, maybe. You return to the lodging house one last time to gather your belongings for the move to your new home. A young man dressed in the uniform of the military academy greets you by the door. It takes you a moment to recognise Thomas. Your friend locks you in an embrace. Brante, hey, how are you? I heard about the nasty stuff that went down in the college square. Those damn gentry would do anything to keep lowborn folks under their thumb. Glad the situation resolved itself. As for me, I'm an academy cadet now. He is beaming with pride. You invite him in and chat while you pack. Thomas continues to relay the news as you walk up the stairs. I made it into the top 10. Can you imagine? Did pretty well in sparring and the sciences. It was all thanks to the help you gave me back in school in Anisot. I'll be studying the art of war now, and then it's a quick march to a noble title. How about you? You tell Thomas about what happened over the past few days, and of the path you have chosen. He remains quiet as you speak. Both of you realise that you may never see each other again. You know, Brante, here's what I think. You may have your own path in life, but you're my friend. We've got to make sure our friendship lasts forever, no matter what happens to us. Here, I bought 2 brass rings. If the old tradition is to be believed, both the rings and the wearers will always remain close to each other, no matter where fate takes them. What do you say? The 2 of you grew up side by side. Thomas, the audacious, hot-blooded, sharp-tongued boy who used to live next door. You can't imagine your childhood without him. But would it be right to promise him that your friendship will last forever, no matter what happens? 2 rings, made of plain brass, lie in his open palm. If you wear these rings, you will be bound by ties of friendship for the rest of your life. Oh, I can't swear an oath. Oh, that sucks. It's a nobleman's path. Okay, that's fine. So all we can do then is take the ring, because clearly we're going to take it. Keeping things as they are would keeping us remaining friends, and we gain some willpower. We could end the friendship. Really? That's how horrible. But no, take the ring, increase our bond, and unlock a destiny, and yeah, bound by friendship. Of course, we're bloody best mates. You take one of the rings from his outstretched palm. The 2 of you have walked side by side ever since you were children. Even though your paths in life may diverge, nothing will ever tarnish your bond. You are ready to preserve your friendship in brass forever. You put the brass rings on your pinky, a perfect fit. Thomas does the same. He starts beaming again. Now we are friends forever, for all eternity. We got to celebrate this. Come, I know a place. I got to show you. Tastiest mead I've ever tried, Brante. My treat. The 2 of you go to a noble salon by the square of Emperor Severin. Surrounded by tobacco smoke and mead bottles, you wag your tongues, recall the days of your adolescence, and make plans for the future. Nobody knows what could be waiting for you, but you promise you will never lose sight of each other. Oh, sad times. An unbreakable bond of friendship. Okay, a letter from home. We'll carry on. This is not a chapter. This is like one of those kind of just interludes, if you will. So after deciding to enroll in the Divine Seminary, you write back home. It isn't an easy letter to write. Father sent you to the capital to enroll in the college, but who could have predicted Archduke Monrog's assault on the college, or the revelation that found you here? Your family replies quickly. You receive their letter in just a week. Father is not happy with your choice, just as you expected. My son, I realise that these are the difficult times in the capital. Nobody expected an attack on the college. Had you been more firm, you could have upheld your right to study there. Cornelius' Tempest will ensure that the college opens again, yet you have already rejected the nobleman's lot. It seems your grandfather was right. But your choice is made, so follow it and study to become a priest. I did not send you to the capital for this, but I accept your choice. Mother, on the other hand, supports you eagerly. My dearest son, I am so proud that you have chosen to follow your destiny, even if it means going against your father's expectations. I always knew you were born to carry the twins' word in the world. This is as it should be. Nathan echoes Mother's sentiments. The path of the faith may be even more noble than the path of a noble. I'm going to go to the seminary in Anisot like you. We're going to live the same lot, you and I. You always show me the way. You are not surprised to learn that Stephen and Gloria are disappointed in you, each for their own reasons. How could you defy Father's will? It cost him so much time and money to send you to the capital. But alas, what can we do? If the lot of the clergy is your destiny, then so be it. We, of the noble lot, will attend to our family's future from now on. I wanted you to find your own way, you know, and you defied Father's will, all to bend to the will of the church. I hope this new lot fits you well. Lydia. Affection maxed out. Good old mother dear. Nathan. Affection +4. Father indifferent. Searching for the truth. I mean, I've planned to finish at 1:15, but I mean, it's ridiculous. It just keeps you hooked. It just keeps you hooked. Yeah, she's definitely lotless, wasn't she? Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to get to the next point where it gives you the next little, where you tick over age. That's a nice little place to. We'll carry on for now. It's fine. Keep getting that flashing up. Lessons at the seminary start early in the morning. Before the lessons come 2 prayers, one privately in your room, and a communal prayer in the refectory. The morning bell eases you from sleep in the morning. You adjust to the new routine more easily than you would have expected. The seminary students are quite numerous. You have counted more than 30 young adults studying with you. They are both boys and girls, but the girls already cover their hair and keep everyone at a distance. Most of the time, the boys and girls study separately, unless a lesson is of particular importance. The classroom is vast and the boys and girls sit separately, watching the aged, unassuming teacher with rapt attention. His name is Father Jeremiah Haag. He writes a word in large letters on the blackboard. Isatius. That's not the same guy that we listened to in the street, is it? The name rings a bell. It is a name you know well. Isatius was the disciple of the twins, the elder's favourite. It is the same guy. Oh, it is, yeah, okay. I thought I recognised the name. He wrote the 2 books that lay down the teachings of the twins. The first book tells of how the twins are will and law and love. The second book tells of the lots and how each of the 3 estates is granted its own lot. For the entire first semester you will study only these 2 books, for they are the foundations of the faith. Sounds very dull, very boring. Good grief. Father Jeremiah gives a passionate lecture about Isatius and describes his life. His words are filled with reverence. After all, Isatius surely was second to none when it comes to understanding their divine providence. After a dozen days in the seminary as a student, you hear a rumour. Luke, the Patriarch of Archnia, is about to come here, and the teachers are preparing themselves. Father Jeremiah informs you of the Patriarch's arrival a few days later. It is a tradition that every year the Patriarch of the capital province personally teaches a class for the first-year students of the seminary in Eterna. The lesson in question will be held in 3 days. What, this is the new faith, Luke. We teachers are aware that many students are too preoccupied with their current studies to attend this lecture, but I assure you, should you not attend this lesson, it will not affect you in any way. AKA, don't turn up. You're not missing out on much. Oh, we'll be there. We're a diligent student. The students exchange wary glances. Skipping class is normally grounds for harsh punishment. This uncharacteristic mercy is only a few words away from saying you ought to skip the lecture. Your curiosity is piqued. What is making the seminary teachers treat the patriarch's lesson like this? Well, clearly we know why. Come on now. Perhaps you should hear what he has to say and see for yourself. You decide to attend the lecture, which is now, the hall is half empty. There are several teachers in the hall as well, keenly eyeing every student who has chosen to attend this class. Let's not be too drawn in by the speech. Let's just feign disgust or something. A few minutes behind schedule, Patriarch Luke arrives. You recognise his broad shoulders and thick brown beard right away. His eyebrows are thick too and brown. Half-squinting eyes gaze from under them. He greets the students with a smile and begins. The air in the seminary is so inspiring. There was a time when I too studied the teachings of the twins within these walls. My mind was overflowing with questions, but I found answers to only a few of them. I believe that many among you find little satisfaction in the answers that have come down to us from the faraway past, and I believe that you will yet find the answers that eluded me. More than 1,000 years ago, the twins came to our world. They brought us knowledge. After true death, each of us shall face divine judgment and retribution. And the fate of each of us in the hereafter depends on the righteousness of our worldly lives. You are students of the seminary. You are now studying the teachings of Asatius, the foundations of our faith. This student of the elder twin lovingly assembled all their words, all their guidance, and brought it to us who live in the present. But how true is it that the lots, the bonds that hold our present society together, were indeed established by the gods? There are whispers from the teacher's seats. They're not happy with these words, but none of them sees fit to interrupt the patriarch. Apart from the written works of Asatius, there is no other proof that the twins established the lots and told all people to follow them. While they were present in this world, neither the elder nor the younger ever mentioned separating people into 3 estates. The twins only told us of the judgment we shall face in the hereafter, and not of the laws by which they will judge us. That being said, I will ask you a question. The very questions my brethren fear so much. Is there not a chance Asatius was in error? For no mortal man is free of error. And is there not a chance we are all in error by repeating his words? Instead, would it not be more sensible for everyone to interpret the teachings of the twins individually? Perhaps the solution in the teachings of Asatius was right for Asatius himself and not for all of us. The teacher's displeasure grows louder and louder with Luke's every word. Finally, Father Jeremiah grows indignant enough to interrupt the lecture. This profane speech must end. How can a man of your rank be so imprudent and irresponsible as to confuse young people with such ungodly heresy? You will find that no soul in this very hall will ever doubt the truth as it is written in the sacred books. To this, Patriarch Luke smiles again. I am a mortal man, like Saint Asatius, so I may be in error as well. If this is indeed so, and no student of the seminary shares my concern enough to dedicate a paper to the questions I have asked, then I will curtail my dangerous speech so as not to confuse these bright young souls. But if perchance you are the ones in error, if one of these bright young souls does in fact share my concerns, then my lectures on my outlook on Asatius and his writings will continue. Uh-oh. The patriarch leaves. For a time the teachers converse in low voices. Then Father Jeremiah casts a watchful eye over the students and rises. It is natural for young people such as you to face the eternal truths with doubt, and the words you have heard may have sown themselves among those youthful doubts. But listen to what I am about to say. There is no place for such impiety in the life of a true priest. Heed my words, all of you, and consider the danger well before you allow such dangerous thoughts into the temple of your mind. There can be no doubt that the Patriarch of Archnia could never call the true faith into question. However, youths such as you, who are only beginning their service to the twins, may easily be led astray by such ideas. So be mindful of your thoughts and doubts and weed out any impiety, for the path of heresy can lead only to the eternal suffering. You return to the monastic cell in which you live. The books of Isatius are right there on the shelf. You open the second book and run over the words about the lots. These words are the truth of truths. You learned them by heart when you were very young. How could anyone ever doubt them? Yet you cannot deny that there is at least one truth in Patriarch Luke's words, and this truth is gnawing at your mind. Isatius was indeed a mortal man, and as a mortal he could have been in error. He could have gotten it all wrong. These thoughts fill you with doubt. Seek comfort in prayer, support Patriarch Luke, or reject the doubt and strengthen your... Well, now, the seeds of discontent shall begin to be sown, I feel. Okay, so this will Shield of the Old Faith Destiny, give us extra theology and manipulation. Comfort in prayer gives us extra willpower. However, you decide to study this criticism of the lots further and dedicate a research paper to the subject. Oh boy. Shield of the New Faith. We gain in eloquence, we gain in diplomacy, and we lose willpower. But it's well worth it for the cause. Oh gosh. We're going to carry on, folks. 10:15 is a fleeting, distant memory right now. Every man makes mistakes. Anyone can misinterpret or misunderstand something. This notion burns in your brain so uncomfortable it hurts. Pursued by this thought, you flee to the seminary library in search of answers. You painstakingly pore over book after book. The accounts of Asatius' life are inconsistent and often contradict one another. One thing is mentioned in each of them, however. He was a disciple of the elder, and he transcribed the will of the twins. No book in the library ever cast doubt upon this. And so you begin researching this on your own. The first thing you do is visit the Library of Eterna, the largest of them all, large enough to find a different outlook on Asatius' life. And in the end, you do find it. It turns out Asatius based the concepts in his writings upon worldly laws, the divisions between estates and classes, and the laws of the empire, for the twins had pronounced it the heavenly kingdom. Therefore, any critique of the divine lots must be sought in the laws of the empire. By the end of the semester, your research paper is done. You hand it to Father Jeremiah. You have a number of theses. Nobles of the mantle are ordinary people who have decided to change their lot. Priests cannot have families or bear children, and any commoner or noble may elect to accept the lot of the clergy. The differences between estates and classes are becoming blurred, as are the boundaries that separate the lots. Estates may change, and so the lots may change, and new ways to change one's lot may soon appear. You back this notion up with the growing authority of industrialists among the commoners. Some of them are wealthier than the nobles of the mantle, or even the nobles of the sword. They manage factories, and so they wield power like a noble would. Bit by bit, Word by word, you prove that the words of Isatius are not unquestionable. In fact, they must be questioned. The empire is changing, people's lives are changing, and so the divine law must change as well. The lots are already being defined in our ordinary lives left and right, you conclude. So is it sensible to preach them so fervently while turning a blind eye to the changes taking place around us? Uh-oh. Okay. Father Jeremiah grows furious as he thumbs through your paper. He rips it apart and punishes you for showing a weakness of faith. Patriarch Luke will continue to hold yearly lectures at the seminary, but you are barred from attending his visits ever again. You have no free time now. You spend every day at the scriptorium transcribing the teachings of Isatius, page after page, book after book. You can try, Father Jeremiah, but you will not succeed. Oh, shield of the new faith. You side with the new faith and support the transformation of the church. I didn't expect it to be so open so early. Good grief. Okay, there we go. We are now 18 years old, and already we have declared ourselves somebody that challenges the old faith. Right, so we'll go and finish this last interlude, and we'll end the session after this one. So you have lived another year in the capital. Eterna has been shaken by what is now known as the Trial of the 50. 50 people stand trial at once, all prominent members of several political circles. They are accused of treason and conspiracy against the crown. The accused spoke in favour of reducing the power of the nobles and granting more rights to the common estate. There was no mention of rebellion, yet those words alone were enough to indict them. Every session of the trial is open to the public. It is a show of power made to discourage people from forming such circles ever again. You attend one of these sessions. The 50 face their verdict. Forced labour in the mines of Magra and Illyria for regular members, and true death for their leaders. 6 men and 1 woman. Their public execution takes place in the central square of Eterna. You remember the woman. Her name was Annie Siren. She made a speech before her execution. A young woman, not too tall, her face almost plain, with long bangs over her eyes. What? She looks calm, even at this moment. You cannot believe she's about to leave this world forever. Annie Siren takes a look around before she speaks. Her voice is quiet, but you are close enough to hear every single word. She says she is happy to give her lives fighting for the rights of the people. Her cause will never die. Annie claims others like her will continue their work in hiding, for their cause is right and just. She is dragged away to the others. They put a sack over her head and tighten a noose around her neck. A hand yanks on the lever, and the 7 dangle in the air. Their feet tremble at first, then grow still. There are gasps and cries of discontent in the crowd. Oof. So that puts a bit of back power back in the hands of the old school, and order is trying to be restored. The Black Book, and that is where we shall end today's session, halfway through chapter 3. Oh wow, so no deaths today, woohoo! But I'm really happy with our choices today. I think we've chosen well. I'm very happy with our path. We want to be a priest. We are a priest. We are a questioning priest. I think it is good. I think it is good. So next stream of this, I don't know when. So this week I have got streaming tomorrow some CK2, Monday. And then Tuesday will be F1 Manager. and probably Wednesday, and then maybe some CK2 recorded sessions thrown in as well. I'm going to a conference on Thursday and Friday this week, which doesn't really make too much of a change because I don't usually upload on a Friday anyway. But so the next stream session, tomorrow. So the next stream of this will be next Sunday, as we will continue onwards in our youth as a fresh-faced 18-year-old priest to be. We'll see how that pans out for us. But we're already causing a bit of trouble, aren't we? Which is good, because I like to cause a bit of trouble every now and then. So looking forward to that. So thanks for watching as always, folks. Hopefully you're enjoying this as much as I am. Sorry that was a bit of a break since the last session of this, but it's just how the calendar has panned out for me. But yeah, we continue onwards in due course. So eagerly waiting to see what happens with this, and sincerely keeping my fingers crossed that we do actually finish the game and don't lose all of our lives before we do, because I'll be absolutely horrified. But anyway, enjoy the week ahead, folks. Spring is just around the corner. 21st of March is supposed to be the first day of spring, so what's that? 9 days away, apparently. Winter is away, and happier times ahead. Longer days and all that. Easter's just around the corner too, so lots to look forward to. But anyway, go forth, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, your evenings, whatever you choose to do. Hopefully see somebody tomorrow for some CK2 House Topcliffe goodness. But until then, folks, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you soon. Do I have to manually save this? I don't think so.